got an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful for this day, for peace of mind and wellness. I'm blessed in every way, for Spirit works within me, and so it lives in you. There's so much to be thankful for, so easy to do. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful for this place, for joyfulness, belonging, and every happy faith. The spirit of abundance surrounds our every need. And when I act in gratitude, I've got all that I need. One more time. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I spread it far and wide. Joyfulness is my map, and faith is my guide. Together we can share the love. The only thing we need is an attitude of gratitude in heart and mind and deed.
Good morning, everybody. I am David Burke, and I am honored, and it's my pleasure to be your trustee on duty today. Happy early Thanksgiving, and happy birthday week for me. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly welcome here, and you will be valued, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. And whoever worked on that is an awesome saying, so thank you very much. We express the love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Melinda. I'm one of your awesome practitioners, and I'm filling in for John today so we can all put in a word for his health. I have one announcement about the Living Out Loud spiritual journals that we talked about last week. There were 3 over there. Yeah, there's a few left. They're $15 each, and all that money goes into the practitioner fund so the practitioners can go on retreat. And the great news is this book contains all the global, they call them themes for the month and themes for the week. And Reverend Donna has graciously agreed to follow this format for 2023. So we can all come with our little journals on Sunday, take notes, have reflections, set goals. They're really awesome. And the great news is our lovely center has decided to purchase 20 more of these journals and donate them to us for the practitioner fund. So isn't that fabulous? So the practitioners are here to accept your prayer request, and we have a table over here with prayer request cards, and also if you haven't gotten a birthday card and you want to sign up for be on the birthday list, those cards are over there. We appreciate your prayer requests because that's what we do. We pray every day, and so it's really nice to have a focus to pray for. So we appreciate that. And I am going to light this candle to represent the light that each and every one of us hold. And for our invocation today, take a breath. And within that breath, I find myself standing next to God, the one, the all-powerful, the magnificent, the all-knowing God. And standing next to God, I realize I am a part of all of that. So being here together today and sharing with each other and caring for one another, we celebrate the oneness that we are. And we're so grateful for your presence here today and for all the words spoken and the music and the message. And together we say, and so it is. So today I'm going to share again from Daily Om, understanding oneness. Every thought we have and action we take becomes part of the collective energy of the planet. Sometimes we look at actions of others and find it difficult to understand what motivates them. But we're all doing the best we can with the information we currently have. We have all been taught how to see the world from the examples of those around us and by our experiences. Keeping this in mind, we can accept the choices made by others while seeking ways to increase the world's level of consciousness as a whole. Our different levels of consciousness are kind of like the developmental stages of children, whose understanding varies according to their age and experience. For example, the behavior of a 2-year-old who doesn't want to share can be understood as a phase of his social education, whereas a 16-year-old who behaved in the same way would be thought to be acting childish. It's important to remember that we each are each on our own unique path. We may have chosen certain lessons or made an arrangement to play certain roles in the unfolding of the world's understanding before we incarnated into this life. So our job is not to judge others, but to shift the balance of understanding in the world by increasing our own. Every thought we have and action we take becomes a part of the collective energy of the planet. When we use our energy to bring light into the world, it combines with the light brought by others to dispel the darkness. Though we live in a world of duality, which helps us to experience the material plane, we don't need to experience extremes to understand them. We can share our experiences and understanding with others, not from a place of patronizing behavior, but of connection. When the entire family of humanity understands that each of our thoughts, choices, and actions affect us all, we will share an incredible level of consciousness, one that puts our oneness above all else and helps us to evolve into higher expressions of our spiritual selves. Remember, the next time you witness an action of another, that they are on the same earth as you, but simply on a different conscious level at this point in their life. Find compassion, bless them, and move along your day in grace. And I'd like to add, today is a good day to have a good day. Namaste.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into a family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Sing it with me. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Thank you, Rob. That's so great. Is that another one of yours?
No, country singer, I think it's Zach Williams.
Oh, okay. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Our topic this week, well, our theme for the month has been, may all our thinks be thanks. And I kind of like that little statement by Alden. But our topic this week is in all things. Because the Apostle Paul tells us, in all things give thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. And I love that Paul is not asking us to give thanks for the experience, but to look at the experience for the blessings it contains, those gems and ugly wrappers that we talked about last week. And I've said many times, I do not give thanks for the hurricanes that blew my house away in Florida. But I absolutely do give thanks for that they were a catalyst for a myriad of blessings, especially that they brought us here. So we wouldn't be here if our house hadn't blown away, right? So that's pretty cool. On Friday night, John and I watched the film Father Stew. Have you guys seen it? Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a look. It follows the life of Father Stuart Long, a boxer turned priest who inspired countless people during his journey from self-destruction to redemption. During seminary, Father Stu had hip surgery, which led to the discovery of inclusion body myostis, and that's an inflammatory condition in the muscles for which there is no cure. He fully believed that all that he had been through led him to God. And what brought him most closely to God was the very experience that ultimately took his life. In all things, give thanks. Now, it doesn't matter whether the experience is as huge as that of Father Stu's, or simply what my son calls a God giggle that reminds us that there are silver linings in every cloud. I can't think of a better credo to live by than in all things, give thanks. So today I have some friends who are going to be sharing the stage with me. I'm sorry John Cover was supposed to be here, but he's not here. But we do have Kay Clark-Eulis and Rosie Klein. and if there's time and you want to get up and say something, it'll be yours. So, Kay, Rosie, who wants to start? Okay, so we're going to hear from Rosie and then Kay, and I thank them for participating. And yeah, I know.
I won't be long, but there's so many things that I can give thanks for today. I had an accident, as most of you know. I did a knee and face plant on my brick patio, and I'm bruised from one end to the other. But the first thing, I had company, and she was in the bathroom. So I laid there on my face, unable to move, moaning and groaning. There was a lady across the arroyo in the back of my house. There's a canal and an arroyo. She came running down the arroyo, up the other side, and in my gate to help. I didn't know who she was. She was a stranger. And I was just amazed. Her name is Julie, and what a wonderful thing she did. And then, of course, my friend came out. They called 911, and away I went to the hospital. So I'm very thankful for them, that I wasn't alone, that I got wonderful care at Banner Southwest, where they have a trauma area. But then I was thinking this morning, think thanks. Lynn told me to eat pineapples and take arnica. So I bought some arnica gel, and I've been drinking pineapple juice, which is not as good as fresh pineapple. But in any event, I had a lovely glass of fresh pineapple juice this morning, and on the way to my other home here, I thought, how did that pineapple juice get to my door? Well, I don't know whether it was in Hawaii or where they grow pineapples, but I gave thanks for the people who tilled the soil, planted the pineapples. When the pineapples were ready to be picked, those people came and picked. There were other people that processed, that put them in trucks, that took them to the plant where they processed those things. They made juice out of the pineapple. Then I'm sure they went somewhere else, and another bunch of people put the juice in the cans, and then the cans had to go on a truck or in an airplane if it was Hawaii. So by the time it got to me, a crew had to take the pineapple cans off the truck into the store. People had to stock into the store. So think of the people that were involved to bring that wonderful pineapple juice to my door. So I give thanks to all those unknown people, and I give thanks for the kindness of a stranger that came to my back door. And I'm just grateful that I'm here. I'm bruised, but I'm getting better and better. And I'm so glad to be here with you all. It just feeds my soul. Thank you.
This is a tough act to follow. Good morning. I found religious science in 1995 in St. Louis, Missouri. I had been raising 2 children on my own since they were 5 and 2, and I was destitute. We were destitute. We were struggling financially for a long, long time. So when I found in 1995 the Center for Spiritual Living, I also at the same time decided that I wanted to finish my education, start my education, I should say. I did not have the opportunity. By the way, there's 3 stories. I couldn't decide on 1 or 2, so we're doing all 3. I'll hurry. So I decided I wanted more education, and I had been taking classes one at a time at a community college since 1985, so it was for 10 years. In 1995, I decided, I want the whole thing. So I had actually put myself through court reporting school before that. I was working as a court reporter, and I had my own business. So in 1995, I thought, how do I go to school full time? So I crunched the numbers, decided I really need to cut back on court reporting, and crunched the numbers, decided I need to come up with $15,000. And I had never been able to save money, ever. So a couple months later, I was pumping gas, and I stepped over some spilled petroleum that was running across the pavement, and I fell and broke out my 2 front teeth. Put them through my lip. I had a lawyer friend who said, we're going to make a claim, and I said, I'm not a suing type, and he said, no, you're going to make a claim. $15,000 came into my pocket. Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. So I went to school, and I finished my undergrad. About the same time, I had a bump on my head, like a cyst. And I went to the doctor, and this is story number 2. Went to the doctor, and they said, it's got to be surgically removed, but it's probably cosmetic, so your insurance probably isn't going to pay. Well, I didn't have money to do surgery on my head, and it was under my hairline. It was growing, kind of pushing through. And I'm too vain. I could not have this thing on my head. So I treated, and I treated for how to get, by the way, I treated for the $15,000 before that too. I don't think I said that. I was dusting furniture one day, trying to figure out how am I going to pay for this growth on my head to be removed. Bent over to dust the bottom shelf, knocked my head, reached up, there's blood. Surgery by shelf. No insurance needed. No payment. I knocked the doggone thing off. Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. Then I learned about the words gently and easily. So I decided that I was not going to end with my associate's degree. I wanted the whole thing. I wanted my undergrad. My kids were out of the house by that time. They were grown up, bless you. But my daughter was back living with me. Well, I decided that I was going to go full-time. I was going to quit my job totally as a court reporter, and I was going to go to the university across the river from me. So I crunched numbers again. I needed $24,000 in my bank account in 1 year's time. So we had this beautiful condo and a beautiful lake and a fountain and the fall colors, and I'm treating for $24,000 within a year's time in my bank account. Now, court reporting, you get paid when the lawyers decide to pay you. Hopefully there's no lawyers in here, love them, but the money trickles in sometimes. Sometimes you get paid $17 a month, and sometimes it's $10,000 a month, but so anyway, I was treating for $24,000, and I got some notes because I kind of forget this. Oh, and I needed it by a year because I had registered for class to start in August of 1999, and I went at Christmas time for a calendar because it was for Christmas shopping, but also a calendar to finish up my business until August. So I asked when I was going to start school. So I asked the man at the kiosk for a year-long calendar. He said, we don't have that, but we do have academic calendars, but half the year's already over. And I said, what do you mean academic calendar? He said, it goes through August. Thank you, God, that's my sign. But I kept having nightmares about what am I doing? I'm leaving my family, I'm making my daughter move out, my 24-year-old daughter move out of the house, and I'm going to move onto campus. It's never been done. I was 52 years old at the time. I was not a spring chicken. I was going to live on campus with two 18-year-old strangers. I live outside the box. Anyway, so I got the calendar. So right before August, I had maybe $5,000 in my bank account. It's like, how am I going to get this $24,000? It's almost impossible. August, I had quit my job, gave my business to another reporting company, and I took a big quilt to the laundromat before I was moving. Walked along the building and something hit me in my leg, and I thought, was that a butterfly? Was that a butterfly? Butterflies have always been signs of greatness for me and positive signs. Darn thing hit me in the leg, so I'm in my head going, was that a butterfly? Rounded the corner, it hit me in the eye. Yes, I'm a butterfly. Okay, another sign. So I moved on campus, got settled into the apartment, and decided to take a walk. Still, I'm nervous about quitting and going to school and all of this and being 52 years old with 18-year-old roommates coming in. And I take a walk, and the woods around the community opened up to a meadow. And on this meadow, thousands and thousands of butterflies were flittering around. My sign. I finished my degree in 2001, and I've never had a regret. This stuff works. I just can't, like I say, I couldn't stop with just one story. This stuff works, and I'm so grateful for all of this and all of you. Thank you.
My name is Don. I'm Reverend Mom's son. I used to call her that. Demonstrations. For me, demonstrations happen when I let go of the negative thinking. When I let go of the self-judgment and the anger that I have in myself, or whatever it is, I can allow the demonstration to be a daily thing, because daily life is a demonstration. All you gotta do is look at the birds and look at the wildlife and look at the plants and look at my beautiful wife. That she's a daily demonstration for me. And but my specific demonstration is about moving here. I lived in Los Angeles for 50 plus years, and I kind of, it was that time where it's time to move on. Enough was enough. I love it there, but it just wasn't fitting anymore for my wife and I. And so we were battling about it. We were not battling. We were talking about it, not battling. We were going back and forth. Should we move? Should we not move? Should we move? Should we not move? And I had some personal issues where I couldn't work for a little while. So I had a big time off, and I came and I visited my mom for a month. I don't think she was expecting me to be here for a month, but I was. But during that time, it was going back and forth. We were, she was at home, and we were talking on the phone, and we were trying to figure out, okay, should we do this? Should we not do this? And I came here to church one day, and I had been kind of looking around for different places and, houses to move into, and figuring out kind of like what our life would be like here. And thank God my wife is very open, and she was really willing to do this. Her dream was to move to LA, and she did, and she lived there for 30 years. And, now she was kind of following me here. So anyway, I was here at church, and I had, is it John Lopez? John Lopez, yeah. So I went over after service, and I said, I'm having some difficulties figuring out, if I want to move here. And I would like some clarity on that. And so he prayed for me, and it was a wonderful prayer. It was, it must have been a 20-minute prayer, because I remember standing there going, wow, this guy can pray. And so I thanked him for the prayer, and the next day I got a call from one of the places that I had looked at, and the guy really liked me, and he said, okay, I'll give you a discount on the rent even. And he had had people looking at it, and he just kind of had a sense about me that I would be a good tenant. And so he said, I'll give you a discount, and you move in, next week. And I'm like, okay, and it's a beautiful house, and we've made it our own. And to me, that's a demonstration, because he actually called me and wanted me there. He wanted me in the house, because he had shown the house to many other people, and he just kind of had a sense, and we kind of got along, and we were joking with each other, and it just was a good feel and a good fit. And so we took the house, and then unfolding of moving out of Los Angeles, it's been a little trying. It was a difficult journey for us to move from Los Angeles to here, with all the stuff that we had, and the rigmarole of moving. But the thing is that we've always had that sense of God. God is going before us, making the crooked places straight, and even though it's been trying at times, we've been gifted. When we needed money, money showed up. Literally from the state of California, all of a sudden we get this huge, refund, and we're like, wow, okay. And it allowed us to pay for our deposit, at our place. And now that we're we both now are employed, which is good, and we both like our jobs, and life is unfolding, and that's a demonstration for me. That's when I open up my mind, and I stop judging, and I allow God to work through me and through us, it happens. And so be it. Thank you.
Now that I know you're an experienced mover, can I get your phone number?
There's a whole other story with that.
This is so touching when people speak from their heart. I just want to take a moment and thank Mary DeLange for bringing me here in 2004. Otherwise, I would have never known about this place. And I think prayer works and positive thinking works. I'm not sure exactly what Peter was going through his mind last night, but at 2:30 in the morning, every smoke detector in our house went off. It was horrible. So we got up and we walked all around the house. There's no smoke. There's nothing. And then, thank goodness for Google, I looked it up and it said, well, like, there could have been a little bug in one of them, and if one of them go off, they all go off. So he had to climb up on our little step stool and pull out all the batteries. So that was fine. He was ready to go back to bed. I go, wait. You have to put one of the batteries back at least. Well, he went up on top of the step stool and he fell 6 steps down on solid tile floor. You know how you think when you hold the ladder you're going to save somebody? That doesn't work. Man, he came down so hard and so fast. And I said, I'm going to call 911. He goes, nope. So I prayed, and I don't know what he did. And we went to bed, we went to sleep. We woke up this morning, and he's perfectly okay, except for his finger. And he has a few hurts, but not one bruise on his entire body. Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm going to thank everybody for participating. It does feel good to hear other stories and, to kind of, to tag on to my son Don's story. For a long time, we have not been close. And that month that he spent with me was the most healing time of his life and of mine. And it really changed the way we thought about each other. And he wouldn't be here today if we hadn't had that month together. I'm sure of it. So things do work in strange ways. I want to talk just a little bit because we've got a few more minutes. Physician and author Lissa Rankin says that seeing the good in all things is about cultivating the ability to hold a paradox. And we can both feel that grief, that loss and tragedy, and we can be grateful for the ways in which those experiences crack us open, shatter the illusions of the ego, and wake us up to the truth of our being. She says we can welcome it all, the betrayal, the violation, the disappointment, the horror, but also the ways in which tragedy brings us together, reminds us who we are, helps us remember what our core values are, and knocks us out of the complacency of everyday life. When Julian of Norwich asked her Lord about the meaning of suffering, the answer she received was, all shall be well. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. When you and I are able to find that light, that place in the darkness that tells us no matter what, all manner of things shall be well, then we are holding that paradox in our heart, understanding that the pain we are feeling will ultimately open our heart's ability to feel and to love. And I want to tell one story because I thought it was so sweet. It's about a UU minister, Reverend Phil Simmons. He lived with ALS for 9 years, and towards the end of his life, he wrote a book, and it gained some notoriety. So in a radio interview, the reporter asked him to describe the highlights of his life since being diagnosed with ALS. Highlights, thought Phil, you've got to be kidding. But he answered as best he could, realizing later what he should have said, getting my fingernails cut this morning. Here was Susan, he said, my friend and nurse, trimming my nails as I warmed by the morning sun. My wife beside me, writing postcards and sipping coffee. If we're looking for what's sacred, what's holy, why look any further? This sacred world is before our eyes and in our nostrils and beneath our feet. What I should have told the radio interviewer is, if you're looking for highlights, you'll miss your life. There are miracles that come from everyday experiences, like the gentle purring of my cat as she cuddles up to me to watch TV together, or the fresh smell of coffee that when John brings me that cup in the morning. He's my coffee man. And then there are miracles that come from that kingdom of the night that break us open to hold the paradox of joy and suffering. On this Thanksgiving and year-round, may you and I remember to give thanks in all things, and may all our things be thanks. Thank you. Namaste.
Yeah. Okay, let's all sing I Am a Light in This World. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Now we're going to do You Are the Light. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Now we are a light. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
Thank you. Nice, nice. Okay. So it's time for our offering. This is a chance to put that law of divine circulation in process. And I ask that you join me in our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And again, thank you so very much for what you do. Allows us the ability to have this center, to house our spiritual family, and to be a beneficial presence in the community. Thank you so very much. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for refreshments. If you're new to us, please plan on staying so that we can get to know you. Okay. So right now, my heart is filled with gratitude and love and joy, knowing that there is one divine power and presence from which we are all sourced. And I know that within this power and presence are the attributes of love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, wholeness, abundance. And these are our divine endowments as expressions of the One. So as we celebrate Thanksgiving this week, may we take that attitude of gratitude into our hearts and lives, not just on Thanksgiving, but each day in every way, to see that there are gems in ugly wrappers, and that there are truly things to give thanks for in every experience. I release these words into divine mind to do its perfect work as we say together, and so it is. Okay, can we stand and sing Stand?
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy.